Is there a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow? Hey everybody, it's Mike Brown here with Remax in Toronto. No, I'm not referring to the $200 check that we're going to get from the Ford government or the $250 check that we just heard we're going to receive from the federal government. I believe 18 million Canadians are getting a check from the federal government for $250. Incidentally, that check from the federal government, 18 times 250, I think is $4.5 billion. That's what they're throwing out there to try and buy your vote, just like the Ford government is with the $200 check. I don't know, I kind of like to see that money go back into the healthcare system. Had a family member last week go to emergency at 4 in the morning, and by the time they got checked out and went back home, it was 5:30 in the evening. So that was, I don't know, 13 hours they spent there. It's not the way I remember it. Anyhow, no, I'm not talking about that pot of gold. I'm talking about the pot of gold that comes on December the 15th of this year when the new legislation kicks in for first-time buyers and insured mortgages. That's when the limit of $1 million gets bumped up to $1.5 million. And it seems to be the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow that many sellers and listing agents are expecting to take place, or for their clients to find. More and more, I am seeing listings come to the market priced for multiple offers. Offer night comes, they see 5, 6 offers. Property doesn't get reported as sold. No, it gets terminated. And the seller then increases their price by 10, 20, sometimes even 30%. And it seems there is some strong belief that these changes to the mortgage rules, 30-year amortization, increased purchase price for first-time buyers is going to have some magical effect on the market, and buyers are all of a sudden going to start paying more for a property than they might have considered paying for it prior to that date. And I suppose there's evidence beyond this. If you listen to the latest reports from Realtors in the Know and the Canadian Real Estate Association, we had a better October in 2024 than we did in 2023. Well, let's not forget that interest rates are lower now than they were then, and let's not forget that inventory is higher now than it was then. And I think the market may be setting itself up for a bit of a dead cat bounce. I don't know if you've ever heard this term before.
And this isn't just some dead cat bounce.
But it was a term that I was introduced to through a stockbroker. And they use that term in the trading of stocks to define a stock that's fallen dramatically in value, and it seems to hit a bit of a bottom where investors start to realize perhaps it's a buy, and they start buying into that stock again, which causes it to bounce up a little bit. But what they don't really understand is that the fundamental principles of that stock are still not strong enough to sustain growth, and it starts to fall again, and sometimes, some cases, it actually finds a new bottom. And I think that's what might be happening in the market right now, because there is still a FOMO effect out there, and there still are a ton of hungry realtors who just want to make a sale.
I'm starving.
And unfortunately, that's just the truth of it. So I thought, let's take a look at some of the numbers so far this month compared to last month to see if there's any truth in this theory. So in the first 4 weeks of October in Toronto, just Toronto, the 416 area code, we saw 1,011 freehold sales in the 416 area code. So far in the first 4 months of November, 731. And it's a similar situation in the condo market. First 4 weeks of October, 1,100 sales. First 4 weeks of November, 848. So they're kind of down by the same percentage. And we're also seeing this happening at a time where, traditionally, seasonally, we will see the inventory start to fall off, as we have been reporting on this channel over the last couple of weeks. However, the levels are still not as low as they were at this time last year. Durham region has fallen by 10%. Halton's down by 4. Peel is down by 4. Toronto's down by 6. York is down by 7. And condominium inventory has fallen by 2.5. Those are all percentage numbers. So we're seeing decreased inventory, decreased sales. It's likely that both of those numbers are probably going to continue through the holiday season, December and into January. So I guess what I'm saying here is, again, inventory is critical, and all these other policies that are coming into effect to help stimulate the real estate market might not be as helpful as people think. And once again, it might be good reason to pause the FOMO feeling that you might be having and evaluate the market. Look, I've always said that real estate prices are predicated on supply and demand, and if you're a seller,
sold the house,
and you've been trying to sell your property over the last few months, there may be an opportunity here in the month of December, believe it or not, or through the parts of January and February. But you want to keep an eye on when this inventory starts to rise again, which I suspect it may start to happen as early as January of this year, because there will be investors and would-be home sellers who are hoping that the new lending rules are going to take effect and bring a whole bunch more buyers back to the market. Just like a lot of sellers thought that the first reduction in the policy rate for the Bank of Canada was going to bring a ton of buyers back to the market. Well, unfortunately, what happened back then, May, June of last year, or this year, we actually saw more sellers come to the market, as was reported in this channel, or on this channel.
Totally backfired.
Be careful out there, folks. Pay attention to the numbers. Don't believe everything you read in the first 5 seconds of an article. Anyhow, it's that time again. Let's get a look at that inventory story. Hey everybody, thanks again for tuning into the channel. I really appreciate it. Don't forget the website, RE Inventory TO. Historical numbers are there, more information about me. If you're thinking of buying or selling, you're looking for an agent in the GTA, Southwestern Ontario, feel free to give me a ring. And until the next episode, this is Mike Brown with RE/MAX, uncovering the real estate of real estate here in the GTA and Southwestern Ontario.